there is a specific and quietly painful stretch that a certain kind of person lives through, watching everyone around them seem to move forward, get recognized, get chosen, while their own life appears to be standing perfectly still. No visible progress, no external proof that any of the effort is actually going anywhere. This person starts to wonder if they are simply being left behind, if the years of quiet work are amounting to nothing at all. And then, later, often years later, something shifts, all at once, and the exact thing this person was quietly building the entire time suddenly becomes visible, undeniable, and considerably bigger than anything the people who were visibly moving forward the whole time ever actually produced. Carl Jung had a real explanation for why this invisible stretch is not actually empty at all and why it tends to precede exactly the kind of breakthrough it seems at the time to be preventing. Jung believed that the most significant and most lasting psychological development often happens entirely beneath conscious, visible awareness in a process he called incubation, where real transformation is actively occurring inside a person long before it produces any outward recognizable sign. This is not a period of nothing happening. It is a period where something is happening that has not yet become visible. The way a seed genuinely working underground produces no visible sign above the surface until the exact moment it finally breaks through, fully formed, seemingly all at once. This explains why the breakthrough, when it finally comes, so often looks sudden to everyone watching from outside, while feeling, to the actual person, like the simple final step of something that had been building invisibly the entire time. The visible stagnation was never actually stagnation. It was the necessary, unglamorous, and largely invisible work every real transformation requires before it can finally become something the world can actually see and recognize. If you are living through this invisible stretch right now, hear this clearly. Feeling passed over, feeling like nothing is happening, feeling like everyone else is visibly moving forward while you remain still, is not reliable evidence that you are actually failing. According to Jung's understanding, some of the most significant transformations a person ever goes through happen precisely during the periods that feel, from the inside, the most stagnant and the most discouraging, simply because the real work has not yet had the chance to surface. Here is what actually matters during this specific stretch. The incubation Jung described is not passive waiting. It requires genuine, continued engagement with whatever you are actually building, even without external proof that it is working, since the invisible work only continues if you keep showing up for it. The breakthrough belongs specifically to the people who kept engaging through the invisible stretch, not to the people who gave up the moment it started to feel like nothing was happening. Think honestly about your own life right now and consider whether the stretch you are currently in, however discouraging it feels, might actually be exactly this kind of invisible, necessary incubation rather than genuine stagnation. Right below the single word for what you suspect is quietly building beneath the surface of your current, seemingly stagnant life. Naming it and continuing to genuinely engage with it despite the lack of visible proof is the real and practical way you give this invisible work the actual chance it needs to finally break through. Because feeling completely invisible right now was never, according to Carl Jung's understanding, reliable evidence that nothing is actually happening. It was very often the exact, necessary, and largely unglamorous stage that comes directly before the kind of breakthrough that only ever looks sudden to everyone who was not the one quietly building it the entire time.